Hello. Sorry for the short delay. Just some private stuff. All right. Mm, Let me just try and gather my thoughts. Well, first of all, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing fine and good and dandy and all the things above. Um, just trying to think. Right, we talked about week in review stuff. So, in what day do we have today? So in 3 days, or rather in 4 days. Yes. No. That's the question now, actually. Do I want to do it at the end of the week or at the beginning of the next week? Let's do the week in review at the beginning of next week. So in 3 days we are at day 28, right? So that's week 4 done. Yes. So on the 24th and on the 25th. Yes, on the 25th we'll do weekend review about, let's see, about everything, I guess. Yeah. And then we'll go from there. We'll see. I definitely did not do as best as I could have, but it is what it is. We'll improve step by step, you know, because I actually want to keep doing this, and I don't want to, you know, jump right into it, get overwhelmed, and drop it. Because that's something that actually happens. All right. I kind of wanna. Did I even draw anything in week 4? Not really. But should I though? Is the question. Like, I don't want to just start a new project, right? Because like these week. Wait, this is actually landscaping practice. My bad. Landscaping practice week 4. This is what I mean. It's like this week, just like the file is called just week 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. I basically made to have like a finished piece. Didn't work out quite that well, but it happens. I think I might want to rename any of these here. I definitely have a lot of more organization to do, and just like a schedule to follow, like a training schedule, I guess you could say, to somewhat ensure I stay on track. First few weeks it's gonna be, as you can see, very disorderly. That's okay. I just try and not, keep this tradition where I start the project for say week 5 or whatever, right? And then I just don't ever finish them. Then I make a new one for week 6, and I just repeat that ad infinitum. Kind of, kind of retarded. Not gonna lie, kind of stupid. I think I actually also, yeah, I think I just approached it incorrectly. Cause like, I don't think I do well in studies that I just do for their own sake, right? So I can't just sit down and absorb like 10 hours of random talk or whatever if I don't have a use for the information right away. Which is why I put into the description that I want to keep those studies on an ad hoc basis, right? But I haven't actually been adhering to that, despite actually, having thought of doing it like so. It's kind of, I don't know. Guess I was a bit on autopilot. Autopilot, for some reason. Alright, I think. Where is my brush? There it is. Wait, I think. Wait, how pale is Shiori actually? I kind of feel like she's pretty damn pale, but the question is she this pale? This might actually not be correct. Just in like tone or whatever. Maybe no, less. I don't know. Let's just have a look. Some images. Pretty certain she's very pale, but you never know. Okay, I can't see a whole lot from here. Yes, okay. And I could try color picking here, I guess. Yeah. Hmm. Let's try with some color picking. Let's minimize this. Should probably create folders for a bunch of these things, but wait, isn't that actually megabytes? But like, wait, what is MIB? I know a megabyte and the shady ass way that internet providers call it megabit, which is absolutely fucking insane because it defeats the purpose of the, you know, um, yes, of the classifications basically. Does it make sense? Of like a, yes, it just defeats the point of byte, bit, and mega, because you just, it's retarded, and I hate it, and it should not be legal because it's fucking stupid. Makes no sense. Anyway, what is MIB? Yeah, I get it. Maybe byte. Maybe byte is a multiple of the unit byte for digital information. Prefix means 2 to the power of 20. Therefore, 1 megabyte is equal to 100,000, 104,850. No, 1,084,567 bytes. In other words, 1,024 kibibytes. Kibibytes. The unit was established by the International Electronic Commission. What? I'm kind of retarded. Gotta stand. Kilobyte. Oh, wait, what? Mebibyte? Binary. Wait, so a megabyte is less than a mebibyte? You serious? Multiple byte units. There's decimal And there's binary. Kibibyte, mebibyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, kilobyte. What? Guess I never learned it like this, huh? Hmm. Wait, so like, how am I then to understand this though? Because like, if this is mebibyte, 926.2 mebibyte, you just look for the file. Projects are drawing scritter training dailies. This is week 1. Week, where is it? There you go. Week 1. This one. How large is this file? 54.5 megabyte. This is so stupid. Maybe I'm just not understanding something important here in this context as to why you would take this like size symbol. I don't know what to call it. Like this. Yes, this thing. Or you would do it like so. But you'd go binary byte type. I don't know if that's the right word to say it. Instead of decimal. Oh, never mind. I'm retarded. Okay. So it's like, okay, now I get it. I didn't look. I was like, okay, binary is 2 to the power of 10 kilobytes, right? But decimal kilobyte is 10 to the power of 3. But I'm kind of stupid, so it doesn't actually help me right now. So how much would that be? Wait, is this the scientific one? It is the scientific one. 10 to the power of 3. It's 1,000. Wait, no, so it actually is more. I'm so confused. I'm so confused with this right now. Anyway, this was a tangent and a half that I didn't need to do. Let's see if we can do some painterly things today. Some somewhat painterly things. Okay. This is Jesus. That's damn. That's almost like bleach. Not that I mind or anything, you know. It's just surprising I didn't. My memory wasn't that, you know, primed on her skin color. I would have just gone with like a generic, somewhat a bit less cave dweller looking skin tone. But I guess it fits, you know. I guess it works out. I've always been wondering how much the cover corporation takes the talents like daily habits into consideration when they create their lore and the new yes characters basically. What am I doing here? Why can't I just thank you. Ouch. Ouch. I mean, I'd have to assume that they do it like quite a bit. Take it into consideration, I mean. Funny. I wonder if there's like a way to mask specific, like just only be able to paint on the new layer. Like I want to make a layer, right? Okay. Let me explain what I want. So I'm wondering if there is a way to make a paint layer, right, function like this. So I have this eye layer here, right, with the little writing on the side here. I want a new layer to be dependent on this eye layer to tell me where I can paint on this new layer, which would be, let's say, the skin layer, right? So I want to only be able to paint within the confines of what has been done already, what has been painted. Does that make sense? I don't know. I hope so. Now that I'm thinking about it, there probably isn't such a tool. But a man can hope, you know? Anyway, hydration check. I have spoken too much suddenly. Oh yeah, damn, that reminds me. Now let me just quickly, although belated, check with the audio. I kind of think my mic is a bit low. Just a bit low. Guess I could give it some boost. I don't know if there's even a tangible difference here. Maybe now it would be. I don't know. Okay. Let me just pull the headphones up. Let's see. Let's see. Let me just check again. Kind of, although not very noticeably. Oh well, I guess I'll buy a new microphone at some point. We'll see. I first have to get acquainted with the technology, as in like trying to understand what all of these what microphones are about. Always when I buy tech stuff, whether it's like stuff for my like hardware for my PC or a display or a tablet, I like to understand what the technology is about and get a semi in-depth knowledge about the thing I want to buy, so I can actually make a conscious choice about what is good and what isn't, without having to overly rely on the advertisement of the companies, right? So, yes, basically that's what I still have to do. I have to figure out how to do the stuff, what it do be doing. Let me just pull up the reference, just cheekily. Yes, this is okay. This is more raid. I remember. So we have. I'm gonna go down here. I wonder how. Now it's really dependent on where the light is. I haven't thought about that one yet. Which is probably the reason why I haven't gotten very far. So like, hmm. Whoops. There you go. Let me just make a new row of colors. It's fine. It will be okay. There we go. There we go. Ow. God damn, I really can't sit. Fuck me. Ow. It's insane. I think I talked about it before, But the instructions of this, it's kind of insane that there are instructions for chairs. It's kind of insane. But, I still like reading that stuff. Because sometimes, you don't want to be conceited in your way of thought, right? And do something wrong just because you couldn't be bothered. And sometimes you never know what the manufacturers are up to, Sometimes they aren't the brightest in the shed either. So anyway, I just like, reading manuals when I find them, when they have them. And this one literally says to sit all the way back at the very edge, basically, of the seat cushion, so that your back is at all times supported by the backrest, right? And whatnot. But when I do that on this chair, literally as they have asked me, so like you can pull forward the seat cushion, right? So that it properly supports your legs, so that you don't press, so that it doesn't press too much from the underside of your thighs, so you can sit comfortably. At least that's the idea, right? So you can pull the seat cushion forward, or the seat, just the seating area, I guess. I don't know what to call it. And then you have to sit all the way back, towards the backrest. When I do that, I have so much pain in my fucking hip, especially on the right side for some reason, that I just can't sit. I just can't. It's not possible. I don't know what kind of shit they are selling here nowadays, but this is insane. It's like, this is genuinely insane. I feel like I'm going mad. Like, can't I sit anymore? What the hell is happening? I kind of want to understand that. But, oh, well, whoops. This is the wrong one. Still having to think about where the light should be coming from. I'm kind of inclined to say it's coming from the top right somewhere. I've been thinking like the past few days, ever since I started doing the color paint thing, that it's more about limiting the effect of light on your painting, right? Because if you think about it, there's no way you're painting every single grain in, say, a wooden desk, right? That would be reflected, every groove and every whatever else. I don't think you would be doing that. I mean, maybe there's, I don't know. But essentially, I just want to say that reality has too much information, and the job is basically more so compressing all of the information into a format that then would be classified as, you know, your art style, since that's the way you like representing the things you see or whatever it is you're using art for, you know. Okay, this is kind of the brush is too thick, I think. I don't know. I really don't know how to like, you know, how to do the shadow here. Like technically it should be the easiest under the chin, but for some reason I can't. Hmm. Maybe I should think more about the forms that come forward out of the neck. I don't know how to say this. Yes. I mean, maybe the entire neck would be in shadow. I don't know. Would it be? Probably not, because it looks weird. This is, I don't know. Not liking this too much either. Hmm. I don't know, man. Am I overcomplicating things? Maybe. Let's just keep it simple. I think I'm thinking too much. Thinking too much. Too much thinking going on. Hmm. I don't know. Ah, man. So, like, it's. Let me just think about the form of the face. So, like, obviously, the nose would be having some sort of highlight, right? In either side of the nose where the light doesn't directly shine would have a shadow immediately following the highlight, usually. You know, I think at least. Maybe I'm wrong. Then, of course, the eyes are in the sockets, which themselves don't, you know, jut out of the face further than the eyebrows. So, in that sense, the eyebrows, the nose, and maybe the cheekbones would usually be in light or have some sort of highlight on them. But given how far down her hair comes, you know, and the fact that it is basically hanging over her eyebrows, essentially, I'm guessing that this isn't entirely wrong. Now the other thing. Let me think. So, right below the nose, probably would be some sort of shadow here because of how the mouth works, basically. I don't know if I want to draw that in though. Probably not. It's not very helpful, I don't think. Okay, what else? I mean, the eyes are in shadow. Somewhat. Hmm. What else usually? Depends entirely. So I guess the right side of her face would be more in shadow, right below where the cheekbone would be, right? So like say, I don't know, where would the cheekbone be? Somewhere like here, right? Right here somewhere. So the shadow, let's just put one cheekily in here. I don't know. Does this make sense? Kind of, but also not really. It's kind of on the edge. Kind of on the edge of what should be and what shouldn't be. I think. I don't know. I mean, anyway. Is there like a hotkey to switch the colors? Swipe foreground and background colors. Like a quick way to do this? I guess right here, huh? Yes. Okay, right here. Alright, I need the foreground. Let me think about. Let me think. I guess the eye would be in shadow too. Right? I kind of think so. Maybe that's what I should be training a bit today, huh? Maybe we'll do some light studies for the face. Just just to get just to get like a basic understanding of where light usually falls. Just you know, so we have like an idea of what's going on. I mean, my eyes are telling me this kind of works, but also not really. So I'm kind of thinking that this shadow here is too far down, actually. Because it's pretty damn close to the eye itself, right? The cheekbone. Would this work? I mean, kind of. Kind of. Hmm. 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 Let's just put the other eye in shadow too for now. I mean, though, yeah, kind of. Maybe more like only to the extent where the hair would be falling still. I don't know. Hmm. All right, we can't forget the chin is also jutting out slightly, right? Can't forget that one. This usually is also, at least in part. Oh, I'm not sure how it would look like. Hmm. And I want to keep it simple, right? I don't want to overcomplicate things here because I know very little about this entire subject, right? I essentially don't want to fall to like feature creep, if that makes sense. You know, don't want to become a victim of of the feature creep. Feature creep. I guess I should be mindful of. Maybe let's make this a bit smaller. Zoom in a bit, and ensure that this is following the forms, the shadow rather, you know? So we want at least some sort of illusion. Maybe this is too much actually, since this is below the lip. It would go in, not out. It would be a different story if I drew the lips differently. This is basically right below. Right, so it would be more like this probably, right? I'm thinking. I don't know for sure, but at least I would be like, yeah, I'm airing. I don't know. I'm leaning towards this being more correct. I don't know. I think. Okay, let's think about this area here. Why do I have? Oh, because I changed color instead of just changing from background to foreground. Okay, so I'm guessing I'd have to go in here too. Make sure we are following the nose bridge and whatever these facial features are called. But this might be too much. Let's leave it at that. Although now, of course, it becomes apparent that the lips and nose are just a bit too far apart. But it's not, you can chuck that up to art style or just I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just an quote unquote error in proportion, so it's not that big of a deal, and it doesn't look particularly wrong. Okay, so follow. I mean, let me try and think about this again. Follow, follow the forms with the shadow. That's what actually, usually, just from observing, gives the image its 3D illusion, right? The fact that you're not only putting the shadow in, but you're also trying to follow it, the form of whatever it is that you are putting in shadow, like the underlying anatomical forms, the muscles, the bones, whatever it may be. I kind of think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass right now. I don't know. Kind of feels I'm not saying two wrong things. Aside from that, my English is not very good. Anyway. Anyway. Okay. So obviously this doesn't work here. Whoops. Now it's time to determine how large the nose is. So let's just... Guessing I could go like this, huh? Probably. Alright. So, nose and mouth usually are very close together, as I said before, right? But there's a pretty stark, harsh shadow right in here, usually. Not quite liking this. Let's see if I can do something about this. I mean, I don't think it would help if I moved the mouth up further. It's just how, anime faces are. I'm thinking. Right. Anyway, I'll be right back with you. Right, I'll be right back. Give me 5 minutes. Okay, sorry, took a bit longer than expected, but I'm back. All right. I mean, for the most part, it doesn't look too bad. Let me just get rid of this. Portion here, basically. Putting it just squarely into shadow doesn't seem that bad, actually. You know? I'm not too sure about this part down here, though. Like the neck area. Doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look correct either. You know? It's just a little bit missing, I guess you could say. Guess I should also paint some hair in the back here. Give it some shadow. And then think about this. Think about hair. Anyway, gotta drink something. Anyway. I don't know, man. Not certain about this. Hmm. I don't know. I'm not too sure about this. I don't know, guys. Let me pull up some reference from Pinterest because I saved some just rudimentary. What would you call it? Face reference for shadows in different angles, basically. I'll just log in here. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, this is not bad. Remember, some more shiori in a maid dress this time. It's a beautiful flower. That's one hell of a well done. Is that a painting or is this? No, it's not a painting, it's just a background. Okay. Animals, gesture, long legs. I mean, just put it here. What the hell? Oh, this is AI modified, huh? AI generated food. It's not looking bad though. But the horror of thinking of having to draw all of this. Like, I can't imagine when you're animating something, right? For a studio that actually, let's say that actually cares. Although that not being. Anyway, let's just say you have to draw food. You get to having to draw someone, I don't know, make egg fried rice. I can only imagine that's gonna be hell. Drawing every single like rice corn, rice grain. Wait, is it rice grain? Is it rice corn? I'm confused. Anyway, hmm. Okay. Anyway, I got distracted a bit here. Sorry. Let me see. Okay, so head, come on board. Face and head. Let me see. I hope I saved. There we go. There we go. This is basically what I want. I suppose keeping it simple should be my main focus right now. Let's see. So it's basically a front view. The light is coming from the side. So okay, let me just show you what I'm looking at here. Save this. Where are we? Projects, drawings, reference, characters, partial heads. All right. Let's open this. Insert this new layer. Okay, I want this layer to be up here. Nope. Anyway. Alright. So this is basically it. Let me just make it a bit larger here. Yep, that's a bit too large, huh? So I'm basically drawing, if you look at this image here, right? I'm basically drawing middle column, rightmost face, right? It's basically what I'm drawing right now. So I guess I don't have to actually... Yeah, I don't have to draw the entire thing here, as I thought. It's kind of look better if I don't draw the entire nose along, give it a highlight. I want to keep it easy and simple with the lights, because I could, in theory, also do something like... No, that's not actually it. Wait. Don't think there is a reference for that on this sheet here. But essentially, I could also gone ahead and drawn the light more from a front shining angle, I guess. But that's, I think, a bit too difficult for me. One side, but also from the front, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. All right, let me just stretch a bit here, because my back is hurting. Okay. All right. So. And basically, I don't even want to stare at this too long. Just one look. Okay, so I'll simply just not go for anything here on the neck. Yeah. All right. We do it like so. Let me just get to the skin layer here and get this image. Whoops. I mean, technically, whatever. Let's just keep it simple. Let's just keep it simple. It's fine if it's not perfect. And it's okay if it's not realistic. It doesn't have to be. Hmm. Right. Guess I don't want it that close, but I'll just keep it like this. Whatever. Okay. So. Guessing I should be putting the highlight here on the other side then, huh? Okay. Should be a bit more careful about where I put the lines. Alright. So. Of course, I can't forget the hair either. So let's just. Hmm. Hmm. Not entirely sure how much you'd actually see from her face if I were to put the light on the left side or the right side. Like, let's say 90-degree, angle. It's not too far forward, it's not too far backward. It's literally just from one of the sides. Since her hair is basically acting like a helmet, you know, and it's encasing her entire face. I guess actually no, never mind. Now that I think about it, hmm, maybe you'd actually see a lot more than you would think in light. Hmm, maybe. It's certainly not an easy thing, drawing and all that, you know. Wouldn't mind it being a bit easier, but it's fine this way too. So let's. Whoops. Excuse me. All right. Guess that could work. I'd have to fix the nose a little bit because it's not in the middle, I guess you could say. I don't know. I mean, let's see. I have to erase a bunch of stuff anyway. Just look at the horror beneath. Have a look here. Anyway, I've been playing like some Crusader Kings when I had time to. And I do have to say, now that I reached Empire tier title ranks, I just lost all interest to keep playing. It just doesn't feel like you're getting rewarded for what you're doing. And the extremely limited diplomacy options, which you can't really call diplomacy anyway, since it's just that limited, aren't helpful either. They're not making this experience any easier or more enjoyable. I don't know. I could go on an entire rant how much I hate the game. But I'll spare you that for now. Maybe at a later date. I'll have a look, see here. Maybe a later point in time. When my microphone is a bit better, perhaps. I'll start ranting about various things. So you can enjoy the fullness of my entire voice. And all the rage that comes with it. Alright. Right, wasn't there something about shadows and values? Hmm. Right. Right. There was. I have a feeling there was. Wasn't there? Wait, didn't I watch like a video or something about how the shadow should essentially, without any lines, right? Without the line art, line work itself being visible, right? The shadows, rather the value of the image itself, should actually give you most information about the character, about the pose, about the everything really, because it all depends on light anyway. Right? You can't see anything if there's no light. So I wonder. I don't want to go into the whole, 15 different shades of gray. Maybe that's what they meant with the movie. What? anyway, anyway, I'm looking at it. I'm staring at this image. I must say, I'm not too convinced. Okay, let's see. Okay. Holy shit, my leg is hurting already. I just sat down for less than a minute and ah, I already want to get back up. This is absolutely vile. I don't know what's going on here. And why my right leg of all legs? Why not, I don't know, my left leg? It's like talking as if I had like 15 or something. Maybe I do. Who knows? Anyway, it's hurting. It's really uncomfortable. Fuck. I can't just keep standing. That's also uncomfortable for my feet. Okay, let me just rest a bit here. Man, standing around for an hour. Usually standing, doesn't do much. But I also usually don't just stand still. Usually either walk around or whatever else, which is no issue at all. But if I don't walk around and I just stand on this very hard fucking wood floor, or like fake wood floor, rather, it's an entirely different beast. It's dog shit. Don't do it. Not recommended. 0 out of 5 stars. The experience, I mean. Ouch. Oops. Anyway, I watched just a little bit of Kyla's stream today. Slay the Spire with like Reine and Kiara. Was also pretty fun. No? I liked the part where her entire chat was like Cutela and like cute Kyla and stuff like that, right? And just patting her on the head because she put the chat behind her where the end turn button would be. But all three of them were also around that area. So chat could do this like weird thing where they would put symbols in their chat message, and at the end some hand patting her, right? And then just write pat pat or something. I think at some points you noticed and removed chat. Just move chat far away, like somewhere top right, I think. I don't know. I don't quite remember. Pretty fun though. Whoops. Hmm. Anyway, I think was it yesterday? I think yesterday Shiro had a stream, right? About the Bear Restaurant game. Yes, I think so. I think it was yesterday. I caught it like 88 minutes in or something. Not quite sure. Something along those lines. Pretty much just before she reached the last chapter of the game. Before the end credits roll the first time, because apparently they do so 5 times or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. And at some point, you know, there was like this scene. How should I say this? It was like a sad scene. I don't quite remember the context. And Chat was crying. While Shiori remained pretty. Sorry. While Shiori remained pretty like stoic, I guess you could say, just unfazed, basically. And the next scene, because I kind of feel like, at least from what I saw, maybe I'm just missing the context of the earlier parts of the game, but at least the parts where I watched along, right, felt kind of tearjerker-esque, like felt kind of like forced, like they were overplaying their hand, basically. They were bluffing, essentially, with how sad the scene is. I don't know. At some point, it just felt like forced. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense to say this. And at some point, like Shiori picked up on this, right? And she turned on the toggle for crying before the scene started. And it just, you know, just reminded me of like the saying I heard in a like TV show, I think. Don't remember the name right now. But it was something like one of the characters being snarky and slightly mean, I guess, to a camera team. So we're filming the character, right? And he said something along the lines of, "Stop filming me," right? film crew asked him why they should, and he told them that he doesn't, that they are stealing his soul, essentially, that they are selling his soul, stealing it and selling it, something along those lines. Just like the scene from the game where she turned on the crying thing. It just it just made me think, in general, just about how much we know. I think we know about the talents, right? How much they are playing the character that we are watching, right? And how I essentially just hope, I don't know how to express this thought. I generally just don't want them to sell their soul. Is I don't know how to say this. Might have to think about it a bit more before I express it in words. But wasn't mad at her or anything, at Shiori or something, you know. It's not like oh, she's just playing being sad and anything. I That's not what I'm trying to get at here. Hmm. If I may be so, what's the word? Hmm. Dastardly? That's no. The wait. Let me just look it up. I have it in my head in German. The word I want to use, but don't. Bold, brazen, right? Brazen, cheeky, and audacious. More like brazen or brash. More like brazen. And maybe so brazen, I suppose you could say. Yes, I think brazen or impudent. That's what I had in mind. Um, Essentially, what I wanted to say was, I may be so brazen, right, in regards to the topic I talked about earlier. I would say what I thought about when I saw her turn on the toggle was a bit deeper than just being, or at all, being mad at her. It's like, I don't know. I'm having issues. Sorry, I'm yapping and I'm not drawing. Oh, sorry. Anyway, anyway, I just hope they're all doing well, especially Shiori. I just think she's a very how should I say this? Sensitive, although applicable isn't exactly the word I'm looking for, but let's just go with that. So, she's a very sensitive person, I think. So, I just hope she's not, unknowingly doing something that might harm her sense of self. Does that make sense to say? I think, maybe. I don't know. Probably, potentially. That's essentially what I mean when I brought this whole tangent up. Not the most chronologically ordered sentence I've ever made, but not the most semantically. Yes, English. Fuck me. It's not necessarily that I don't know why that came to mind right now. The sentence. Hmm. I don't even necessarily just want them to be happy, right? The generic. I just want everyone to be happy. I want them to be balanced, just the right amount of happiness and strife. Just the right amount. I don't know why I said that, why that was important or relevant. I don't know. Just came to mind. So, whatever. I just want them to do well as best as life allows them to. You know, sometimes the I just want everyone to be happy feels kind of cheap. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to be too different. I'm so different from everyone else. Look at me, guys. It's kind of well, whatever. Anyway, I think these shadows are kind of making sense now. Maybe slightly, potentially. I still want to just put in the chin here slightly. Not as like sharp maybe here. Does this make sense? Let's look at it. Kind of. Kind of. Of course, it's missing the eyebrows, so it's looking a little bit weird. I'm also thinking the chin is a bit too far down. I'm not sure what's going on there with the lips right here. Let me just have a look. Just have a look, see. Okay, we can just get rid of this then for now. Okay. This took a lot longer than it should have, I think. But it's okay. I really need to clean my fucking screen though. Like, there have been quite a few times today where I've tried painting over something that's actually on the screen in terms of physically, not the digital image we are all looking at. I'm kind of feeling like I drew the cheekbone too much. It's going in too far, I think. So this part here, right? Is that right? I don't know, man. Maybe the shadow would have to go a bit further. Actually, wait. At this point, actually having properly constructed the face would certainly be helpful. Right? But I don't even necessarily mean like in just some generic way. Like either with a sort of a sorrow head derivative like thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm just talking out of my ass at this point, I think. Sorry, guys. Not liking this. Not liking this. So, what are we actually trying to. What are we trying to represent with these shadows, right? We want to represent the form that is reflecting the light, or that is being hit by the light, essentially it's the same thing, because if you have a material that absorbs all of the light, you wouldn't see the thing. Or rather, you wouldn't see it have any color. You would see the form because the light is just disappearing basically around it. I wonder if there's like some sort of material on Earth that can do that. I don't think so. I don't think so. That would be insane. Just imagine like a block made out of a material that completely and absolutely absorbs all light. That's insane. Of course that doesn't exist. What the hell? Damn. I wonder what it would take to make a material like that. Okay, so I'm thinking. Okay, so I think I understand what the issue is. So if you observe the shadow here on the face, on the nose, you know, that doesn't fit with where the cheekbone is, basically. If you just touch your own face, right, you will quickly notice that the cheekbone is about at the height of the tip of your nose or the bottom of your nose, you know, in that area, very closely. But my cheekbone was just up here, you know, in the drawing. So I think that is something that's irking me, because that would inform where the mouth is and ends, right? So I'm guessing that's what I didn't like, amongst some other things. So I might actually have to move the eyes a bit down. We'll see. Let me just look at this monstrosity. I mean, they don't technically look bad in the image itself. They don't just quite fit this. Let me see. So, like, whoops. Whoops. The eye socket is actually pretty big on an eye like this, no? Just trying to retroactively do some, like, just construction, I guess you could say, of the nose and the face. No, I guess the size of the nose is actually quite okay. It would probably be something like so. Hmm. 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 I'm guessing right here would be a soft spot where you'd have some shadow. I feel like, because it's like if I just touch my own face, right? That's right where there is some. Where there would be some shadow, although very lightly and a lot closer to the nose, so more like here, somewhere right there. Somewhere like here, maybe close to that. Kind of looking funny. Um, Let me think. But basically, this entire thing, you could just be like, okay, that's either in shadow or in light, because that simplifies a lot. So then we go in for the eyes, right? Hmm. I should have definitely constructed this more, like without even actually drawing any features, just constructing the head with the planes, you know, where everything falls. I guess I should do this. All right, but I'm kind of at the end of my rope here for today. Ouch. I can't sit, I can't stand anymore. I have to think about a solution here. Maybe like an extra seat cushion could help, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't even sit in a 400 buck fucking chair. Like, this is insane. Like, what the hell? Like, I have one half that much in like the living room, right? Although it doesn't have any rolling capabilities, you can at least sit in it and sleep in it without any issues. It's just there. But apparently, when you pay twice as much, you get less than half of the functions. And you can't use your chair for what it's supposed to be doing, allow you to sit. It's kind of. I don't know, man. This might be the worst fucking purchase I've ever made. I can't give it back anymore, so. It is what it is. It is what it is. Could be worse. I guess it could, you know, um, what? Work or function, act as a lesson. Because I had massive issues just trying to buy this from someone who isn't a scammer, like this specific brand of chair. I guess I should have taken the hint, you know. Should have should not have bought it, but I just had to. Oh, because I was so certain about my research. I was so certain. Oh, I did everything right. Well, I did apparently not. Anyway, I think I think I might stop here now. Might be the shortest stream yet. I kind of want to do longer streams, but if in like barely 2 hours, this is how I'm already like feeling. I don't know. I'm not too sure if I managed to do anything today. I feel like I've been saying this the past few days, huh? Maybe I should take that at face value and change something, huh? Or maybe my brain is trying to convince me to change my behavior because it doesn't like learning things, and that's its way of subverting my what would you say? My goals, basically. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracies here going on in this stream, conspiracy theory stream. I don't know. Well, I don't want this. I want this. Actually, this. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I also missed. I shouldn't have watched the bit of kind of stream I did. Should have instead watched like just a basic guide on the introduction to lighting and shadow, or just values in general. Hmm. Boom, 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 boom. Also, although I do have to say, I didn't dislike just the half and half approach either. So we might be reverting to that tomorrow. I'll do something else. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I just want the pain to stop at this point. So I'm gonna lie down. Alright, guys. Sorry about the short stream. Hope you learned something. I hope I learned something. I hope. Let's just hope we all learn something. Oh, let me save this. Oh, interesting gesture. Although it would be more like that way. Oh, damn. Hmm. Yes, yes. This is nice. I like this. Maybe I should do this too. I just want to draw, and I want to get better at drawing, you know? Hmm. Maybe I should start doing some in-depth breakdowns of the human form, human being, bones, and all that stuff. Yes. All right. Hope you're having a nice morning, evening, or afternoon, night. I don't know what I used to say. Hmm. Hope you're doing fine. Take care of yourselves, and I'll probably see you next time.